Hello everyone and welcome back to Cooking Comics and Connor with me, your host Connor. In these videos, I take the theme from Callum's Geek Talk episode and create a dish inspired by it. Although today's episode, I'll be going off the rails slightly and won't be using Geek Talk for my episode as I really struggled to think of something that fitting the multiverse theme. So instead I thought I'd make some easy, fun and tasty breakfasts themed around our favourite Justice League members. Let's jump straight into it and see what we're making. Up first is the Man of Steel himself, Superman, also known as Clark Kent or Kal-El. Although not from Earth, Clark Kent crashed in America and was adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent. He grew up in Smallville, which is your classic sort of small American town. So I decided I would make something American themed. And I had to go for your classic American style pancakes. Now I have the ingredients here next to me, and we will be using self-raising flour. We've got butter, caster sugar, baking powder, vanilla extract, and 3 large eggs. So if anyone wants to know what recipe I'm using, I will have it linked down below in the description. But first of all, I'm going to be combining together 200 grams of self-raising flour. We have 25 grams of butter that I'm going to melt. We'll be using a tablespoon of golden caster sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 200 milliliters of milk, and then a little bit of vegetable oil to cook it in the pan. I'll get the batter made, and I'll see you then. Alright, well here we are ready to cook. I've got my pan heating up on the stove. I'm going to put in a tiny bit of your vegetable oil of choice. I'm using sunflower. All my batter is mixed up and ready to cook. Now it's the simple case of hoping and praying everything comes out alright. Now that that's hot, I'm going to take a nice scoop of our batter, clean down the side, and drop it in the centre of the frying pan. Now that is going to spread out across the pan and begin to cook and go brown on the bottom. That's what we want. Once the bottom is nice and golden brown, we're going to flip it and cook the other side of the batter, and hopefully we should be left with some decent pancakes. Here we are with the final product of the first dish, the American style pancakes for Superman's breakfast. I've doused them in a bit of maple syrup. The pictures should be on screen now of what I just took. And all that's left to do is give them a little try. Let's cut right into this stack. Lovely butter pancake. You just can't go wrong with pancakes. They're delicious. 10 out of 10. I'll definitely make again. Alright, now we're ready to move on to the next part of the video. The Caped Crusader, the world's greatest detective. Everyone's favourite billionaire playboy, Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman. Now, for Batman, I really struggled to think of a dish, but settled on a simple eggs Benedict, poached egg, English muffins, and hollandaise sauce. First step for the eggs Benedict was getting the water from the boil. I've got a saucepan here, which I've filled with cold tap water. I'm going to add a touch of vinegar. Once it comes to the boil, I'm going to swirl the water and drop my eggs in. And hopefully the white should cook around the yolk, and we should end up with a runny middle, some solid white, and a decent poached egg. Whilst the water for the poached eggs comes up to the boil, I've sliced my English muffins. I'm going to chuck these in the toaster for a few minutes. And I know I should make it myself, but I've got some jarred hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is a bit of a complicated one to make, and everything can go wrong when you're making it. So I thought I'd make life easier and just buy some pre-made stuff. Right, now that my water's gently bubbling away, I'm going to create a vortex within it using just a spoon. I just want to get this water spinning around, and once it begins to spin, I'm simply going to drop my egg into it, and hopefully the boiling water should encase the egg within the white and should cook it. In the meantime, I'm going to crack my second egg into the bowl, ready for the second poached egg. It's looking good, looking good. Gonna give it a few minutes. The last thing I want to do is take this egg out and for it not to be cooked, because a runny white isn't a tasty thing to eat. Good way to check is move away some of the loose white, pick up the poached egg, and I can already see that that is not ready at all. I'm going to put that back in the water. I'm going to let it cook. I'll be back once all my eggs are cooked, showing the final dish. Here we are finally. The eggs Benedict is finished. My eggs are poached. My English muffins are toasted. I put a little bit of cooked ham on it. The final product should be on screen now. And all that's left to do is try it. Delicious. Runny yolks. Tangy hollandaise sauce. The jarred stuff is definitely a good call. It's so much more easier and convenient. I don't see why anyone could bash or hate on pre-made stuff from a jar, because usually it's quite nice. And here we are again, making the next dish. Right now I am currently in the process of making up some Greek-style eggs for Wonder Woman's breakfast. You know, Wonder Woman, she comes from Themyscira. She was created by the Greek gods. She lives in Amazon with her sort of tribe of women, and she's a very powerful and strong character. And all powerful and strong characters need protein, they need flavour, and these eggs should be perfect for it. So what I've got here, so I've just got a little bit of garlic, sauteing in some olive oil. This recipe does call for onions, but I didn't have any on hand. We've got some half cherry tomatoes that I've got prepped behind me. We're going to beat some eggs into it, a bit of tomato paste, and we're going to hopefully come out with some decent scrambled eggs. And here I am beating up the eggs. I've seasoned them with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And what I want to do is I want to just keep mixing these until the whites and the yolks are fully combined. I want to lift up the fork whilst doing this to get some bubbles going and get some air throughout the mixture, which should hopefully give us a better consistency on our scrambled egg afterwards. I've got my eggs, my tomato puree, my garlic. I'm just going to add the beaten mixture into the pan, and it's on a low, gentle heat, because what we want to do is we want to cook this ever so slowly, continuously mixing, so that we get all of the flavours combined together. And as the white sort of cooks and settles on the bottom, what should hopefully happen is it should begin to curdle as we move our fork through and create a scrambled egg. And what we want to begin to do is, as this cooks, we're going to take a nice bit of feta, and we're just going to break that up with our hands, you know, get that in there, get that mixed through the eggs. You know, that feta is going to melt, it's going to become crumbly, it's going to add a lot of flavour. And then just as the eggs are all coming together and that feta's getting gooey and melty in it, we're going to take it off the heat, turn the stove off, we don't want to burn ourselves. And I'm going to take a little bit more feta whilst it's off the heat. I'm just going to break up and drop into the mixture, you know, and sort of get that combined through and let that finish cooking in the pan. Alright, and the eggs have been made. We've got the final product here. I would put a picture on screen, but these don't look as appealing to the eye, as it's literally just scrambled egg with some tomato mix for it. But it's got a lovely orange colour, and I love the contrast of the white feta on it, if the camera on this does it any justice. But no, it's time to give it a try. Brilliant flavour. The feta is gorgeous. And the tomato, you get like a little bit of a tangy tomatoey taste on the eggs. Much better than your regular, just plain scrambled egg, that's for sure. I'll definitely be making this again. It's time to get on to making the next character. And I decided I'd work on the Green Lantern. I've gone for a bit more of a little fun, kind of boring, but I thought it'd be an interesting choice. I've decided I'm going to be making some apple and cinnamon, like apple pie spiced porridge with a little touch of green food dye to go with it. I've got 200 grams of oats soaking in about 575 milliliters of milk. I put 3 small apples in some water with the seasoning and let it stew down for a bit. I'm going to combine all these together, cook out the porridge with some of the green food colouring, bowl it up, and that'll be it. Simple as that, and we're done. I'll be back when I've done that. I have the final product, nice and made, a lovely bowl of porridge. It's a bit overfilled, I made a bit too much, and the green hit or miss, but other than that, it should be pretty tasty. Let's get a taste anyway, get some of the green bit. Happily, which is good, what we were aiming for. I'm here now to cook the next dish. I'm going to be working on the Flash's dish. Now for the Flash, for breakfast, I've gone for a breakfast burrito. Egg, sausage, wrap, cheese. Something simple, something fun, something bulky, you know, to get that energy into him at the start of the day. Here's the ingredients I'm going to be using. I've got some lovely pork sausages I'm going to cut open and take the insides out of. I've got some eggs that I'm going to whisk up, beat together with a bit of salt, maybe some pepper if I've got some left. A bit of cheese, just going to grate that up and put it in. And of course, tortilla of choice that I'm going to wrap it all in. I've got my 2 eggs. I can't really show them on this, but I've got my 2 eggs. They've both been seasoned a little bit. I'm just going to beat them together again. Similar method to what I used in the Wonder Woman scrambled eggs. Just got to beat them together, put some air in there. Done. Here I am cutting up the sausages. I want to cut along the skin, open them up, and get that meat on the inside ready to go into our frying pan to cook for the breakfast burrito. Just gotta peel all this skin off, and then just gonna heat up the oil in the pan, drop meat in, get it all cooking through. Once it's nice and brown, I'm gonna put my eggs in. Once they're cooked, take it all off the heat, wrap the tortilla, a little bit of olive oil in the pan, we're gonna fry it, but I'm gonna run through all of that now. What's up, Future Connor here, just giving a little voiceover because these next few clips were very noisy. I just browned off my meat, cooked my eggs, brought it together, wrapped it, and then fried both sides. And that is my breakfast burrito made. So all I've got left to do is give it a try. Delicious, as expected. You can't go wrong with sausage, egg and cheese in a wrap or tortilla. Always a hit. Now we've got to make breakfast for the King of Atlantis himself, Aquaman. We've got to make something tasty, something accessible for Atlanteans, something simple and easy to start the day. So I had to go for a salmon and cream cheese bagel or soft cheese bagel. You know, it's something simple, something easy. I've got my ingredients here. I've got some salmon fillets, some soft cheese, and of course bagels. Let's get cracking. Here it is, the salmon and cream cheese bagel in its finished form. Now let's give it a try. Delicious. A big thank you to everyone who's watched to the end of this video. For any recipes, the Twitch and the Instagram, please check the description below for the links. I know the sort of style and format is a bit, it's constantly changing, but I think I'm starting to build into one that I'm happy with, and I hope you guys are happy with. Please let me know any criticism, any changes you think I should make. Please let me know down below, and I'll try my hardest to make them a reality. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next episode of Cooking Comics and Connor. Bye.